Hello everyone and welcome to the Disney Infinity and Beyond presented by Animation Kingdom webcast number 21, and we have a special Christmas episode this week. We have our Christmas hats on, and we have a special guest here all the way from New York City. We have Travis, who's joining us.
Hello.
Okay, so we've got me, Roger, here in the UK. We've got Abe in Los Angeles, and then we've got in sunny California, and then we've got Travis in New York. So we're crossing 3 different time zones, and we're all getting ready for Christmas. So,
and I got the short end of the stick with the time zones there. Buddy.
Yeah, we're all on sort of slightly different times. It's middle of the night, early morning, and late night in LA. So this is a special Christmas episode. We have, like I said, we have Travis on, so we've got lots of questions from our Infinity and Beyond Facebook group. But let's kick off with a few of this week's news. So I'm going to kick that straight off to Travis to just basically just give us a quick rundown of the competition that we've been running for the past few weeks.
Yeah, well, for the past 4 weeks we had the Disney Infinity and Beyond holiday giveaway. And I want to thank everyone that took the time to enter our contest. We had almost 2,000 entries over the course of 4 weeks. And we had some great prizes donated by the Disney Infinity team, and also the team from the team from DKC News, who does the publicizing for Disney Infinity, and they provided us with some great prizes that we gave away over the course of 4 weeks, and we made some little kids really happy for Christmas. So it was great.
Excellent. That's great. Okay, and so there's a big thank you to Disney for that. And just as a quick shout out, I'll be doing another giveaway on our YouTube channel when we hit 1,000 subscribers, which we're not that too far away, but that'll probably just be, hopefully just slide in before the end of the new year would be amazing, but we'll be running that one. So, right, so that is the competition. There was a couple of snippets of news this week that I wasn't really expecting anything. The first off was Disney have added a new download option onto the website. So basically, if you go onto a toy box, there's a little download option which takes it to your cloud. So I used it myself this week. It adds a lot of use in terms for if you're sharing a toy box, you now can just go on, you click the download button, and then it comes down to your server, and it's made life a lot easier for all of us. Have you got any thoughts on those there, guys? Have you tried it out yet?
No, I don't usually do much online.
You don't? Abe?
Yeah, actually, I did see it. I have not tried it myself, though, but I believe it's convenient, so...
Yeah, well, it's that thing, it's, like for me, I found, like, on Thursday, when I logged on, saw all the new toy boxes, clicked download on each one, and then when I turned on my PlayStation the following morning, they were all there in my already pre-saved. But also it becomes very useful before they've been saved. Maybe if they're not a developer pick, this is where they're really going to pick up steam, is, if you've created a toy box and you can share the link to friends or whatever, it means that you can find it easier, because trying to find anything in that newest category a week later, you've got no chance. And it means that you can go back and maybe find a toy box that you created that wasn't a developer's pick from, say, 3 months ago, and find it nice and easy.
I had a hard enough time finding your box today, Roger, that one that you made for me, and I played it, and it was great. But I had a hard enough time finding it.
Well, exactly.
I'm like, I should have done that online thing.
Well, that's it.
I was like kicking myself.
Well, that is again a perfect example of I created a toy box. Obviously, if we're friends, we can share it, but to everybody, I can just put out a link, and you can all just press that button and it downloads. So until they've got that search facility, I think that's a good way of getting around it. Okay, that was a nice little snippet. Then we've got kind of some news that we broke last night. There was reports on a number of finance websites about a company called Indentive, who had like a conference call, and they have been they came out and sort of said that they're behind the technology behind all of the little chips inside everything. And it's been on lots of different of the websites, and me and Travis had we listened to the audio for the conference call yesterday, and I've got to admit, it was a very long-winded finance, because this company are a huge business, and they're all about, and it was all about getting basically stock. and there was a few lovely little snippets in there. Basically, one of the things I picked up was apparently they've sold 150 million items of Disney Infinity. Now, I was thinking figures, power discs, they probably all come under the same thing, but 150 million items so far with Disney Infinity with those chips in. That is a lot. You know, that just, and that's only up to now.
And we can build a missile with that.
And they said, you know, that basically that the main volume of their business has come from Disney Infinity by having those chips in there, and that's become their big volume. And Travis is just going to quickly just give us a quick rundown on one of the other subjects they said, which was about being able to use these figures in Disney stores and in the theme parks.
Yeah, well, the basic thing that they're talking about is there's technology in the chips inside the figures that make it so there are singular characters, so they are readable as a singular identity. The company is a security firm that does like a lot of security technology for badges to get into buildings, so they know where employees are, so they can keep track of who's going in and out. So these chips are singular components where you can basically track where and what and who and how and everything like that. So what they're saying is the technology is there where Disney technically could make it so you could bring your figure into a Disney store or into a theme park and get perks, discounts, special items, entry into a party maybe. I don't know. It was interesting to hear that technology is there. Disney has yet to capitalize on that. But the fact that they mentioned that the technology is put into that now for the future is promising for possibly something like, I don't know, maybe like Sorcerers of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
You could use your figures like the cards they give out at the so it could be something that they could integrate with a game in there or anything really.
I think
you know what?
Yeah,
I was gonna say, based on all that information you guys shared and read, and my due diligence, I'm thinking we're gonna get Star Wars out of all that information.
Yeah, part of the article that went up on a number of the different finance websites was they were talking about that Star Wars is coming out next year, and we've kind of just going to pretty much sort of save our thoughts at the minute of. In the actual audio, there was no mention of Star Wars coming up. There was zero. So it's kind of, we've got to take this again as a rumor. So I think we're all, the rumor mill about Star Wars coming out next year is just going to keep running and running and running. And I think, to be honest, we're going to save that for, we're going to talk about sort of previews and thoughts about Star Wars. We're going to do all of that after the new year. We're not going to worry too much about that now. Whoop. And I've just, and everyone's just dropped off Skype. Okay, so I'm just going to get them back. But also, yep. So
I'm back.
Yeah, then they're back in the room, and so I think with the Star Wars stuff, we're just going to leave that until after the new year because, to be honest, we have got loads of questions and stuff for Travis, and we can talk about Star Wars till the cows come home. Okay, we had some slight technical issues there, but we still have Abe and Travis on the phone. Unfortunately, Skype has decided to be a bit of annoying with us this morning. Okay, so while we're going to do that, what we're going to do is just quickly going to go through some of our questions because we have got loads of questions for Travis since he's our special guest this week.
Special.
Okay, yeah, he's very special. So this is one of the questions we have is which character would you be your dream come true to have, and you can only pick one. So we're going to throw that to Travis to begin with.
Figment. The purple dragon from Journey into Imagination Pavilion at Epcot.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then we've got what does Abe think?
I basically want I had difficulty with this one, but I honestly want a Pete from the old cartoons like Steamboat Willie style.
I thought you meant Pete's Dragon. Then I was like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Oh yeah, do you like that one? I meant that one that I was playing.
yeah.
Elliot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Elliot.
yeah. That was like one of my favorite Disney movies when I was a kid, so I'd love to see a Pete's Dragon thrown in there. But I'm gonna kind of go. I'm gonna go Darth Vader just to throw that one out there for my choice.
That's so mean.
Yeah.
That's not Disney.
It is. It's Disney now. If Spider-Man's Disney and Darth Vader, in 20 years' time, we'll look back and we won't even know the difference. It will just be just standard.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, so if we could have any kind of if we could have any playset, what would it be? That has to be Disney original only, so we can't throw in Star Wars. Okay, so I'm gonna throw that one up to Travis first off. What is your what playset would you like to have?
Mine, yeah. Oh, well, first off, these questions came from our guys over at our Facebook group, Infinity and Beyond, presented by Vinylmation Kingdom, and they did some really great questions. This one especially got me thinking back to my the Blue Sky article I did, probably around the turn of 2013 to 2014. Robin Hood. Now that we have Merida and we have Hawkeye with the archery, I mean, I did a whole Blue Sky revolving around Robin Hood and archery, and I think that would be awesome to do now that the mechanic is there. And maybe Roger can post a link to that Blue Sky.
Because I mean, one of my now I think Robin would. It makes sense with the fact, like you say, they've already kind of got that archery element into it.
Yeah.
Okay, Abe, what do you think?
I actually, and I'm hoping, you know, eventually we'll get these mechanics into the game, but I would really like to see a Lion King playset.
Oh yeah, Lion King. That sounds like a really. I mean, I think it'd be really cool just to get that in there. I think this is more of a case of when they're gonna do it, because
Yeah.
They have to make
But
the. They have
it's
to
also
make the,
if.
yeah.
Yeah, they have to make the conscious effort to create characters like the Cars characters that are four-legged, but cannot use the weapon packs.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a lot of flack for the Cars characters not being able to use weapons packs. Four-legged characters like Pluto, like Lion King, all those things, you know.
Yeah, but it's possible that they can do animals like with weapons packs though. Like they can like slap them on their wrists with something. I don't know. As opposed to a car, you know, you got to put it on a tire.
And they also had that whole thing where they had the debate on what is mountable and what's not.
Yeah,
because where's that fine line on what's mountable?
That's very true. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like in terms of a place that I'd like is I'm gonna kind of throw a different one in there. Is I think it would be cool if they could maybe go slightly different and like make a playset, but it's literally is just the park with all the different attractions and different things, and make it completely usable by all characters. And it's kind of like a universal one, you know, really kind of throw it open and just, you know, maybe because you know, if they made it as like a park exclusive, or not even a park exclusive, but just literally just put it out there. You know, how many people have been to the parks, and if every player could use it, and they'd, you know, like, you just make things a little bit more interesting rather than always going down the movie routes and the Pacific lines. Actually, kind of go, no, actually we can, you know, that is its own entity of its own type.
Kind of reminds me of like the Keeper of the Kingdom series books and stuff, where you're protecting the kingdom from an outside force, whether it be a current villain or just a non-definable entity. I
mean, they've also made like the Disneyland. They've made the racing games. They've made, I think, the Connect version. So there's nothing they've not done before. Maybe what they look at and go, well, maybe the sales didn't make it, but they've done a few games based on it. So I'd love to see a playset in the future that's a lot more. And if they open it up to all characters, that would be a way of kind of expanding the universe and just making it sound a little bit cooler.
It could be a very limited. If you open it up to every character, with every character having different abilities and different things that they can and can't do, especially the 1.0 characters, you might have a difficulty in getting a playset that's nicely playable by every character.
I think as we go forward, I think the 1.0 characters are going to get a big upgrade anyway with the next game, because I
do think so too.
They're massively outgunned and they're just impossible to use for some of the stuff.
I was just say this all smells like Kingdom Hearts to me, by the way.
Do you know what? If that was out on the PlayStation 4 now, I'd have it sat here next to me. It was like PlayStation 3. It's like I just got rid of that one. It's like, oh, great.
Don't worry, the next one's coming out next year.
Yeah, it just was like, really, PlayStation 3? It's like, but they do seem to be very slow at getting the things out. But maybe they wait till the game's finished before releasing it. But that's a whole other issue. Right, so here's another question, and actually, I'm gonna. Yes, okay. This is from Travis.
Yeah, I added my own question.
Yeah,
so,
what Disney Christmas items element would you like to have seen in the toy box? Now, this is kind of pretty much, I think, especially with the holiday challenge coming on, it actually was quite frustrating to have so little Christmas stuff in there, and all the stuff that's in the interiors not being able to use them in the normal toy box. That would be my first request. Is if you could take all the interiors and put them outside, it would make life a lot easier.
You know what? We have actually had this discussion on our own earlier, and I'll let Travis add those great ideas that we spoke about. But I've actually since then thought of something new, which would be awesome. I was thinking maybe they could either release, obviously a patch would be the easy way out, but because of the collectors and all of us, I think it'd be kind of cool if they released holiday packs of power discs. And then, so like if you had like an Easter holiday pack where you had like, I don't know, 6 or 8 power discs, all that had Easter theme. But obviously right now, since we're talking about Christmas, it'd be kind of cool if they had like a Christmas pack where you had like sky domes and in terrain, you can change everything, or you had little bits of like Prep and Landing in there, or Christmas a Christmas Carol, Mickey's Christmas Carol.
A changer, so it gives everyone a Christmas hat.
Yeah, so I mean, as far as that type of Christmas content, that'd be awesome. But obviously the patch is the easy way. But what do you have to say, Travis?
Well, you mentioned power discs. I was also thinking if they did a patch and instead of having power discs, having a special store in the toy box where for a limited time people could buy, let's say, they could get an upgrade for the Cinderella's castle and give the castle the winter lights, like it's done at Walt Disney World. Or let's say a sleigh, or I don't know, it's just stuff like that, stuff that might be generic Christmas content or holiday content, but you could purchase it with your Sparks for a given amount of time. A lot of games I play on the phone and other games, Plants vs. Zombies, for example, they have the ability for stuff to happen for special holidays. I was also thinking...
Yeah, I think like Grand Theft Auto 5 make everything snow for a week or something.
Exactly. You could have or they release special snow textures or a special sky. I mean, the Frozen one's great, but I kind of get a little bored of that same Frozen theme music that has to come with the Sky Dome.
Yeah.
And then also Prep and Landing. Very popular for the past couple of years. Don't know why they didn't do another special, but I could totally see a Prep and Landing duo character, whereas maybe you could switch between the two of them, or even just a Prep and Landing character. But I'm not saying you have to have a full playset. A full playset would be awesome. Toy box game would be great. But just having those characters and the ability to play with those characters inside the toy box, they're two really iconic characters. Not for necessarily for my generation, but for the generation below us, one or two generations below our current generation. So, my little cousins and my friends' grandkids and stuff like that. So,
I mean, I slide into the thing of I don't necessarily think the idea of power discs or figures. I don't think in reality that there's the need for it because Christmas is only one day of the year, and to have all of that product made, I just want if they can add toys to the toy box, just and if they're available at launch and available forever, that's fine. Have some snow, have some different wallpaper, some different music, Christmas trees. Just add some basics. Just add stuff that's not gonna cost any money. Just literally pop some basic stuff in there. They're gonna then stay there for year after year after year. They don't have to update a Christmas tree. they can just make some different size ones, and then just let's just keep it simple. You don't need to have loads of money being spent on figures and power discs. Just a basic Christmas tree would be a good toy. You don't need. I just feel sometimes that I'd rather they just added some basic items to allow for toy boxes to be created. A toy box game disc would be a great add-on if they released it at the beginning of December. But they're not. I don't think they're at that point where they can do that just yet. So I'm not really. I don't want. The idea of going out and buying some power discs is great, but in 2 weeks' time, I'm not going to want to use them for 11 months.
Right.
Yeah. That's I just feel like the way I am with my Christmas Vinimations. They're all going to go in a box in just over a week's time.
It's not our fault the UK doesn't celebrate Christmas in July. So
yeah.
Sorry.
Well, it's July. It's July out there now. It would be like in LA.
Christmas in July is awesome. It's just another time to
celebrate Christmas. Yeah.
Exactly.
We did actually do that one year. We did actually have we all went out to a restaurant and had Christmas in June, and we all had the party hats and the Christmas turkey and stuff, and
there you go.
Yeah, so we have done that. But it's that thing of just after Christmas, it just feels. I'd rather them just do some basic stuff and not have to have product that's all going to be reduced into.
I'm just thinking like a business though, because honestly, anything to make money would be perfect, and I know you don't like power discs, so booyah.
I don't mind power discs. I just find that I don't. If they have too many, they're going to alienate. It's that really fine line between if everything's on power discs, it's I don't know. Just to me, Christmas is, it's only for a couple of weeks a year, and how much stuff they can chuck out in in the holiday season to make some money, and then you just maybe just jaded after too many years of Christmas sales.
Maybe for you in the UK, Christmas is only 2 weeks a year, but here in the US, Christmas is a lot longer.
Dude, once Black Friday is over, Christmas trees are everywhere.
Yeah,
actually,
this
was Christmas stuff in
here.
Before.
It's Halloween. Halloween is the day after.
Oh no, we get stuff before Halloween.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same thing here. The stores are chucking mince pies in the shops in August. And the adverts are all starting. At least now they do Halloween. Before Halloween, it was creeping right into into September. So Halloween's pushed it back a little bit. But for me, maybe just a Scrooge in me. I've had 6-8 weeks of Christmas being shoved down my throats, and I'm
love
bored.
Christmas, so give me Christmas until whenever.
I love Christmas. I just like Christmas now.
Yeah.
What's up, Travis?
One other thing I wanted to bring up is, I know that Skylanders has a big popularity with this. Is they release a holiday, Christmas themed and a Halloween themed
Easter
figure,
as well.
and now an Easter figure, or they call it springtime figure.
Yeah.
And they're very popular, and they sell out.
Yeah. If they made like Ellie 10,000 or Ellie whatever it is, and it does feel like it's a thing that they've not really gone too much down the line of these variant figures. But then how many sort of trigger happies do you need dressed up in different outfits?
Yeah, I understand that. But Disney went the route in 1.0 with the crystal variants. And I think that was marketed poorly.
Yeah.
Toys R Us has a very big popularity with their legendary figures for Skylanders. I just think that the crystal ones had poor marketing. I think they could have worked if they were marketed properly. I think having holiday versions. I mean, Winterfest Lobstar, which if you don't know Skylanders, you're not going to know what the heck's going on right now. But that came out this past week here in the States. It's very popular.
It looks cool now.
Love the sculpt. The coloring's great. The way that they changed up the figure enough where it's not a total resculpt, but it's just changes here and there.
He looks better than the original one, I think.
He looks a lot better than the original, in my opinion, but it's just something that Disney could do. It would not necessarily need to be an accurate portrayal of the character, because none of these characters... I mean, having a Christmas Merida, let's say, with a green dress, or a Groot with a Santa hat on or something.
I must admit, I do feel that I think with Disney going down the line of they've kind of they've decided obviously variants is not something that they want to spend as much time on. They'd rather do more, and I agree. I'd rather see 5 new characters that are toy box only than doing another 10 crystal variants or 10 variants. So I think the Power Discs idea is an alternative to it. But like you say, Skylanders are doing it with their variants, but they've maybe gone, they by going too much, they alienated some people. But there does, like you say, there's a space on the shelf at this time of the year for something Christmassy, just to, nicely packaged up kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just I just think I think Christmas they lost Christmas. They lost the potential of the holiday, where I've seen other games be successful in either online content or direct purchasing by the customer content.
But actually, in some ways, I feel that maybe I don't know if Disney Infinity maybe it's still so, because within Skylanders, and this is one thing that I've noticed, because they alternate between the companies each year, time, they've basically got a 2-year window between each release to get ready, and because like 2 different, I think they deal with it. So I think one of the biggest problems with 2.0 was that because they rushed it, they feel if sometimes it's feeling like the stuff has been rushed because they're trying to hit this yearly deadline. That Skylanders have got 2 years, though you don't feel like it because of the way that the companies do it. Because Giants and Trap Team were made by, I think, Toys for Bob rather than I can't think of the name that did Swap Force. So
I think it's just easier if they could just pack a figure with a fruitcake and call it a day.
Fruitcake.
We're gonna call it Fruitcake Group.
Fruitcake Group. That'd be good. There's a little raisins on it. Right, let's get on to some of these other questions. Okay, so favorite and least favorite Disney Christmas special. So Abe, we'll throw that one to you.
Honestly, yeah, like we mentioned it earlier, I've been a really big fan of Prep and Landing. I think it's one of the best specials they had in a while, obviously. And because I'm thinking of the current, honestly, to tell you the truth, my least favorite special was the one they just did with Toy Story. I just didn't think it was very Christmassy at all.
Toys that time forgot or something?
Yeah, with the dinosaurs. It wasn't.
Was that even a Christmas special?
No, I don't think it was out. It was out in November, wasn't it? It was just.
It's a Christmas
special. But was
special.
it considered a Christmas?
No, it's not. I don't think it's not.
Yeah.
Did it have Christmas in it? Yeah.
Yes, it was. Oh. It had to do with them playing games and not seeing that they were Christmas toys or whatever.
All right. I don't know.
It was,
yeah, I think the
there's no other Christmas special coming out.
No. I don't know. I think I'm just trying even to think of. I was trying to think of my brain of Christmas specials and stuff, and I can barely think of it. My brain went completely blank.
Well, my favorite is Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Is that a movie, isn't it, rather than a...
I thought we were talking about Christmas specials.
Yeah, specials, not really...
I would consider that a special, wouldn't it?
Oh,
it wasn't it first aired
took my favorite one.
I mean, it's like... Yeah.
My least favorite is A Muppets Christmas Letters to Santa. They had the first one, A Muppets Very Merry Christmas Thingamajig. I don't even know which one the title was. And that was actually not half bad. They had a Fozzie looked like the Grinch, and there was a whole subplot with that, with Christmas holiday special. That wasn't half bad, but this Muppets Christmas Letters to Santa, I watched it once and I have not watched it again, and I usually watch Muppet things more than once.
Well, I remember there was something last year, I think, with Muppets with Lady Gaga. I think that could be considered the least Christmas special ever. But
anyways,
I don't know.
I just so I get you clarified here. Toy Story That Time Forgot is a Christmas TV special that aired December 2nd, 2014 on ABC.
All right.
Produced by blah 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 whatever.
Yeah. Okay, we'll give you that one.
What about you, Roger? Did you think?
Yeah, you have to answer that.
I actually, to be honest, I drew a complete blank on Christmas specials because I was trying to think like what they put on over Christmas, and at the minute, BBC One has just become the Disney Channel. There from today onwards, there's 3-4 Disney movies on every day. They just put the movies on. I mean, I was watching Cars last night, so I was looking through the TV guide, and it's just all I just get is the movies. I can't seem to find any kind of special even to prompt me. So I'm just trying to think of maybe
this, why don't we just throw a Christmas movie? What's your favorite Christmas movie that Disney made?
Oh, Disney made. Probably the Santa Claus.
Yes,
with Tim Allen. That's probably. I was going to say the Grinch, but then I realised that one's not at them. But yeah, so I would say there's so many really bad Christmas TV shows on on at any one time, and my mother-in-law just sits there and every time we go over there, just some bad ones run after one. But yeah, I'd probably say the Santa Claus. You can't really go wrong with that one. Not too keen on 2 and 3, but the first one.
Two is good. 2 holds its own. 3.
2 is good too. 3
I only watch because I've watched 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think
I have to watch 3.
I've kind of gotten this thing of I don't really have this kind of thing where I have to watch. I like to actually give some of the movies years off between viewings, otherwise I just get a bit.
See, there's a whole and I know I'm not the only one, but that has to do it every year.
Yeah, no, I just like my wife with Elf and the Santa Claus movie. She has to watch them every year. Okay, so we have, will Disney Infinity bring peace on Earth this year? And I think the answer is no.
Wait,
no.
what?
will Disney Infinity bring peace? Not if you've tried building toy boxes since the patch. It's not bringing peace.
I honestly think if Sony would have offered North Korea free starter packs, they would have been happy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to get involved in that.
You're
opening up a whole can of
I don't want any issues of being hacked. Thank you. We're going to leave that one. Right. I did have a question of what is a webcast. Now I wasn't entirely sure if this was serious or thing. So webcast. I
think it was silly.
Yeah, a webcast is basically essentially just I think it's just like a video podcast. Though at the minute it's just me on video and these 2 guys on audio.
Wait, I thought that was when Spider-Man shoots his web.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there we go.
He cast a webcast.
Yeah.
Nice.
Come on, people. Okay, let's move on.
Right, and also we have Steve, Outside Infinity. What unique Denman and Larios traditions? And well, he completely forgot to bother with me, so I'm not even gonna,
Congratulations on your engagement, by the way.
I love that.
Yeah, for Steve, yeah.
And I showed that picture to my wife and I said, look at Steve. He's just I sort of how he's done the proposal. And it's just the fact that she sat there at the front doing the pony sort of trot. And just,
I don't know. Yeah, for people that haven't seen it, maybe Roger can put a picture up in post editing or something. But our friend Steve was his last weekend at Disneyland with his annual pass holder. He was there with his girlfriend and his daughter, and he proposed to his girlfriend on Space Mountain during a photo taking opportunity. She was oblivious to it. He was behind her, and he had a note saying, "Will you marry me?" And then, I don't know if you guys saw it, but there is a picture that they put. They rode Space Mountain again in the same seats. And she is holding up the ring, saying she said
I didn't see that one. No, that's cool. But yeah, so so your holiday traditions. So let's start off with Abe. Do you have any holiday traditions?
Well, if we're talking like actual traditions we have like with family.
Yeah, we haven't.
Well, our family, I guess that's a tradition that we do is we usually kind of like we don't carols, but we kind of sing the whole reenactment of Mary and Joseph trying to find shelter for the birth of Jesus, all that, religious stuff. But it's a cool tradition we've done from time on. We've seen many generations of cousins and children, whatever, just pass it down on, because it's something that doesn't really continue to be passed on from time to time. But aside from that, another awesome tradition is just the food. It's so awesome. My dad always cooks every single holiday, and it's awesome. That's my tradition.
Okay, Travis, you got any?
Christmas Eve dinner with the immediate family, then Christmas Day is absolute chaos, including present opening at my parents' early in the morning. Then over to my aunt's for more present opening with like 30, 40 people. Then rush back home to my apartment now, because it used to be my grandparents, but now it's me, to do a whole Christmas Day dinner by myself for about 6 or 7 people, but they want their individual things. So it's making like a whole ton of dishes and unique. I don't think those are unique. However, in January I'll be making my third annual trek down to Walt Disney World for my vacation, and that'll start in beginning of January. So that's kind of a unique tradition for me that I started back in 2012. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like traditions. I mean, over the years, things change, things move on. I mean, sort of the last few years, usually we go over to sort of the in-laws and have meal. Have it's you have the traditional Christmas meal. Usually, I like to start off Christmas Day morning with my presents, hopefully with a new video game and a big white bar of Toblerone for breakfast. That's pretty much kind of
Toblerone. Oh, okay.
White chocolate, a nice white chocolate Toblerone for breakfast. That's kind of usually the start while I'm playing a video game. That's kind of a good start to me for Christmas Day.
It's a great breakfast.
Yeah, well, it's the one day of the year. Game. It's the one day of the year that you can kind of have chocolate for breakfast.
Not out here at the States. That's every day.
You don't really count. What was it, Cocoa Krispies or whatever you call them out there?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's like Christmas traditions. Things change, things move along, and I don't actually like the idea of being stuck in. We have to do it because it's Christmas. Well, that's if it's not fun anymore, just don't do something else.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah. When you live like 2 minutes away from your parents, and you kind of don't have an excuse to get away, you do what your mom wants you to do. And if your mom wants you to hang out like this every year for 30 some odd years, you do it.
I work with my parents every day, so to me it's like if I can get the afternoon off, that's great.
I wish I had time to do video games on Christmas Day.
Yeah. Well, I've got to cook some bacon this week. My parents have moved out, so they're going to have them and my brother and stuff. They're all going to come over for ours and breakfast. Yeah. Doing breakfast at our house this year for the first time, so that'll be a bit different.
Okay.
So I'm not going to.
That's gonna be easy. All you're gonna do.
Just
that's gonna be easy. All you're gonna do is open a big
box
cartons of Toblerone.
Yeah. That's nice and easy. So not as much.
Chocolate and bacon, you can't go wrong.
Right. Okay. So, what was one present you always wanted but never got? So we'll throw that one over to Travis first.
I racked my brain for a while on this. I cannot remember a present that I've wanted that I couldn't get. I mean, I was always told to be, don't expect too much, don't ask too much, so I never really asked for things that I thought I couldn't get, so I always kind of got what I wanted. Being only one of only 2 grandchildren on my mom's side kind of helped with that. But, I mean, really, as long as my family can gather each year and we don't have any major deaths or illnesses in the family around that time, we're great. That's all I could ask for, really.
See, that was definitely the hallmark American answer. There was.
Well, I mean, I lost my grandmother.
No, I wanted my Megatron. Where's my Megatron?
Right. No, yeah, like 3 years ago, I lost my grandmother 2 days after Christmas. So, these days it's like, if we can get through a Christmas holiday without another, major death, I'm happy.
Yeah, so. It's one of those things, isn't it? As each year goes on, as it's like literally, I think it's probably, I think like every 2 years lost a grandparent. It's just one of it's just, you do just try and make the most of and I think that's what I find with Christmas as a whole is, it's about being, with family, and it can be a tradition, but it doesn't, that's all it has to be. You don't have to have all the rubbish that goes with it. It's just making time, and that's kind of, all this other stuff that comes on the side of things just isn't really that important. You could.
I like all the rubbish sometimes, though. I like all the baubles.
Yeah, but it's that thing of, I think some people get a bit caught up in trying to do too much. And I think if you're that stressed out over Christmas Day because you haven't got this or you haven't got that, and this thing about the question about the present that you always wanted but you never got, well, that's life. That's I don't necessarily agree the fact that kids should get every single thing they ever ask for. It doesn't set them up for very good.
I wanted an Oscar Mayer weenie whistle.
What? I think I remember one day. I think one year I wanted an Amiga computer. I mean, that's gone way back to when I was a kid, and I didn't get one. I don't know if you guys remember them Amiga computers.
No.
That means friend.
Abe, anything you wanted that you never got?
Well, my parents got me a Game Boy when I was, when they first came out back in the day, and then
Me too.
my friends had a Super Nintendo, and I really wanted one for the console, and I never got it. Then, later on, years go by, then the N64 came out, and I wanted one, and I never got it. But
N64 was awesome.
Well,
I remember spending my uni check on that.
I got older and got a job or was making an allowance, so I bought my own N64, and it was awesome. So yeah, I know. But yeah, I wanted a SNES, and I never got one.
Yeah, I mean, I think specifically when I was a kid, I think my parents brought me my first Atari. They brought me the NES. I think that was and they brought me the Game Boy and the Mega Drive. So as a kid, yeah, it was just I don't really remember anything particularly. I don't remember having a freak out. Okay, so now we got a few questions for Travis since he's joining us, and me and Abe normally get to talk about stuff that we're doing. So, what is Travis's favorite 2.0 character?
You got to be a little more specific, Roger.
No, just 2.0.
Just 2.0. Well,
yeah.
Why nobody ever asked us these questions? What the hell?
Well, okay. I'm gonna go with two. I'm gonna do twofold. I'm not gonna do Marvel because Marvel has been hacked in way, and actually none of my favorite characters are Marvel. I love them, but they're not my favorites. Look-wise, I love the sculpting on Stitch. I love the way Stitch looks in game. I love the likeness on the screen is awesome. Gameplay, though, I'll have to give it to Merida. Her archery ability, when leveled up, is amazing.
Yeah, she's powerful.
I mean, when Abe and I are in the toy box and he throws down a bunch of those stupid Macus,
Oh yeah.
which are impossible to kill,
God,
her
so much
ricochet
fun.
ability is the only thing I can think of to keep me from dying several times. I always die, but several times because, I think it goes between 4 or 5 different enemies, her ricochet ability. And I have her leveled up to 20 now because we just keep on.
Yeah.
He keeps on pummeling me with villains, but so yeah, those are my favorite.
It's so much fun.
Okay, Abe, do you want to throw in yours as well, since you want to answer that one?
Oh, okay. I was just messing around, but okay. Wait, 2.0. I guess I'll play it. I'll play it like Travis. I won't talk about Marvel. 2.0 Disney. Sculpt wise, all that stuff. Yeah, Stitch is awesome. It's a great figure, but I really, 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 really like Maleficent. I think the figure is just beautifully sculpted. It's nice. I love her staff. Everything's great. Gameplay wise, yeah, Merida's pretty awesome. I still like Maleficent. She plays really phenomenal, but I'm a sucker for the classics, and Donald is just awesome in the game. He's just so much fun to play with. I just love throwing these random giant objects at Travis when we're playing. It's a lot of fun.
Right, see, I'm just gonna say Iron Man. He is so much fun to play. He can fly. I use him probably 90% of the time now because of building toy boxes. He can fly. He can throw weapon. He's strong up front. He can blast them. And he's a great figure. And to me, Iron Man is one of the best figures for 2.0. He's just an all-round good character to have. So,
Okay,
that's my thing. Right, so what is your favourite playset, Travis? We'll leave that one for anything because it's... So
well,
what's your
my favorite... unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of time in 2.0. Life's been really crazy, especially when you write for a couple websites and everything and work full time. So I haven't really actually played a lot of the Avengers playset. The only playset I finished was Guardians, and I really liked the Guardians playset. My favorite overall playset out of 1.0 and 2.0, I would have to give that to Toy Story. I really liked the Toy Story playset. It was expansive. It was challenging to me, especially with having to fly around and trying to collect all these different pieces with a Buzz that really couldn't go high or low. You had to kind of aim and shoot for the moon.
You had to get that right combo.
Yeah, and you had to fall at the right time to go down to a lower level to get more things and stuff like that. It was really challenging, so that would be my favorite playset.
Okay, cool. So, what are your overall impressions for 2.0? So, me and Abe are now just going to go get some coffee and some tea and just...
No, actually, again, I have not had a lot of time to play in 2.0.
So why are we asking this guy?
I don't know.
Fun. I do have impressions.
Because you stayed up late. That's
right. I stayed up late. Right. I like how they introduced Marvel. I don't think it was really a positive effect of having the originals that far out from Marvel. I know they wanted to hype the Marvel and then kind of semi-hype the originals. So I don't understand all that, but I guess it worked out for them. I hope it worked out for them. The toy box is great. In 1.0, I neither had really the time nor the patience to make toy boxes. In 2.0, it seems to be more rather the time, because when I go in and I can fool around and throw stuff up pretty quickly, I just needed more time to develop all that stuff. I know, Roger, you now with 2.0, you've had a lot more time to do toy boxes, and you've gotten developers picks and top fives for the week, and that's awesome. I noticed that we have a lot more featured toy box artists in the community that were not part of the what I would consider the elite that would feature almost every week up in 1.0, mainly because Disney has made it more user friendly for everybody.
It's definitely a lot more user friendly.
So
and it's so much easier to submit and stuff, and I think they're looking at a much larger range of people.
Yeah, I mean, I really think 2.0 was nicely put together. I think there were some bugs they needed to work out. I think they need to relook at certain things like the 1.0 characters' abilities for the next generation of the game, whether that's a major patch come the spring or the summer for 2.0, or if they are actually coming out with 3.0 the end of next year. Who knows? But I think overall the game, I would give it probably A-, B+. Like it could be better, but it's a major improvement for 1.0.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things I've noticed with doing the toy box building on the app that I've just been doing the last few weeks. Really kind of reminds me of how much it has improved from 1.0, and sometimes you can you're into 2.0 and go, oh, why isn't it doing this and why isn't it doing that, or and this isn't working or that isn't doing this. But when you think of where it came from 1.0, it's a huge leap start. There are still some technical issues that they've got to work on. I think also that whole Marvel Originals launch was a bad idea, and I still agree with that idea that I don't think they handled that very well.
Yeah, they might not have handled it well, but I don't know if sales... I think the sales are still pretty good for it. Mainly because I think... And one thing I thought of is they released all the Marvels and all the Disney originals.
Yeah.
Okay? They still separated it enough where people wouldn't have to get everything at the same time. What I think they could have done was release part of Marvel and part of Disney originals in the beginning, and then release the rest of it later on in different waves. So you had both Marvel and Disney original people in the beginning. But I understand where they separated because they wanted the 2 starter packs.
Yeah, I still think that was a major mistake to do that. to have those 2 starter packs. I think it caused too much confusion. I mean, all 3 of us have just, we've literally just spent the last sort of 6 months of this year just fielding questions about people not sure what they're doing and stuff. And the 3 of us have all been sort of seen that side of things, and I'm sure Disney have had it 100 times worse than we had.
I think they've just recently started advertising a more clear direction as far as, hey, choose your adventure, which you can choose either of these starter packs. It's like it's barely happening. So it's like, yeah, I know what you mean. I'm on that side.
I think we're gonna see in new iterations of the game, and I can understand where they're coming from, and I think it's a good move if they do it right. But we're going to be seeing less and less playsets. We're going to be seeing more toy box games, because out of the one thing that I've heard people say is they actually really enjoy these toy box game discs. Granted, the Stitch one and the Kiln one are basically the same.
Yeah.
Or no, Asgard and Stitch are basically the same thing, only with different pieces. However, there's a lot of gameplay in there.
Yeah.
And people breeze through the playsets, but they're going back and they're going through these toy box game discs again and again, either with friends online or by themselves, or bring someone in and say, look, do you want to play this level? It's an awesome level, let's play it again.
I think the multiplayer is adding a lot of additional gameplay time, because Abe's been loving the fact that he's been playing online against people with these toy box game discs.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Online and definitely with somebody next to you, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you can't do that with the play sets. You can't play online with the play sets, and I think that is a hindrance where they're trying to make it more of a communal online experience.
Yeah.
And the play sets are hindering that. And I know people are diehard for the play sets, but I don't see the content being so good that you can't push things more to toy box games and just still have a great experience.
I think the thing is, for me, is I view the play sets are your traditional video game where you pop it down and you play through a story. And I think there's a large audience that want that. And, Skyland is a perfect example. They've got a very strong story. It plays through. There's a chapter, a beginning and end. And when people finish the end, they finish the game and they walk off. And Disney Infinity have gone down this whole creation side, which is where the heart of the game is and where the constant comes into it. And I think that's where the sort of the lines have sort of blurred. I hope that we see a lot more of those toy box game discs going forward. I'd rather see 10 of them spread out than 3 playsets.
Yeah, I think it's better for the community, and I think it providing more characters for the toy box and providing more toy box game discs for the toy box and making it so there's more ways that you can connect with people and play with people online. It blows whatever Skylanders has out of the water, and it's a good move for Disney. Money-wise, it's a good move for us. Game-wise, I see much more value in paying $75 for a starter pack for Disney Infinity than I do paying $75 for a starter pack for Skylanders at this point.
Yeah.
So.
More playsets.
I do think they did. I think the trouble is that thing with the playsets, and I think this is where it led over from 2.0 is if they're going to do the playsets, they've got to do them. They can't do this. The Marvel side got a really good variety, and they got the characters and they got the playsets. And then I think the Disney fans, literally, if you don't like Marvel, there was not to have a single playset, and if they did, it was a huge misfire. And I don't know if it's because they're holding out for some more Disney stuff, like I said earlier with the Skylanders thing, with every other year. But I think they completely underestimated how much, and maybe it was time-wise, maybe they didn't spend enough time doing it, and that's maybe them probably trying to get it rushed out for the summer.
The one place that I did finish was Guardians of the Galaxy, and though I enjoyed it, when it ended, I'm like, is that it?
Yeah.
And the final boss battle with
Ronan.
With Ronan was just kind of lackluster. It didn't. I love the concept. I love the layout. I loved a lot of the different challenges that you had to do, but when you came to the final going to that ship and finally battling Ronan and stuff, it just didn't seem.
Yeah, I think especially compared to the Spider-Man and the Avengers finishing, it was probably the weakest.
Well, I haven't done it.
It was definitely the weakest out of the three. But then when I look back and I think about the 1.0 playsets, you never even knew you'd finished them. That was the.
That's true.
You never even knew. You just kind of went, "Am I done? Is that the end of the?" There was no ending. I mean, now they actually flag it with a big message going, "You have completed it." Just to send that message. Cool. Yeah. I mean, I just remember, the first game, you just didn't know. I still don't know if I actually completed Cars or not. There was no ending.
I don't think I ever completed Cars. I think I got lost in it.
Man, you guys are incompetent.
I was driving around in the Cars one for 2 hours, and it's like, oh, I need to go over here.
Do you know? I actually have got to say, I think Cars was one of the best playsets from 1.0. I'm going to be very.
No,
I loved it.
Lone Ranger.
I wouldn't necessarily the best, but I really enjoyed it. I spent hours in that. I must have spent 20, 30 hours in Cars. I just thought it was.
That's because you couldn't drive properly, Roger.
Probably. If you've seen any of my toy box yeah, if you've seen any of my toy box playthroughs when I'm driving, you know why it maybe took me so long. I'm definitely it takes a bit of practice to kind of get used to driving in Infinity, but yeah. So I think that was the thing. I mean, I just think in general that was the major problem. So anything else on 2.0 that sort of caught your eye, Travis?
No, I mean, I really enjoyed what they're doing. I'm kind of hesitant on how they're going to release the 2015 things, because you have people upset that not all the power discs are released. We have 2 for Marvel, and currently 2 for Disney confirmed and 2 unconfirmed for Disney. And people are like, oh my god, they're not complete. Are they going to release more packs? People are thinking there's a whole nother series of discs.
Yeah.
So, no, there's not another series of discs. What happened was there were delays with the discs that they're going to be putting out in 2015 for some reason. Don't know why. Was it production problems or manufacturing problems or design problems? I don't know. But they'll be out. We don't know exactly how, but they'll be out.
No.
And I just don't know how they're going to handle that. Disney.
I mean, my biggest bug at the minute is the Jasmine one, because it just seems, I don't like the idea of that you had to figure out Aladdin was out in November, and then they're releasing a twin pack with those power discs in July, or in February, so I'm having to buy it again. And yeah, okay, you could have said, well, don't buy Aladdin originally, but it's like, that doesn't seem a very fair, a very well thought out idea of making you buy the way they did that. If Jasmine was out in November, that would have made sense. Or push Aladdin back to February. They could have pushed Aladdin back.
They are not going to, because I bet you the figure was already designed and in manufacturing process when they decided to add Jasmine.
Yeah.
Because Jasmine's being done by the same company that's doing
Ninja Theory.
Villains.
Yeah.
And then Falcon and
Yondu.
Yondu. All those are being done by the same company, and they were brought on late in the game.
Yeah.
So I can see where Jasmine came into it. I'm like you. I'm not a fan that these power discs look like they might be only available in the twin pack, and you would have to buy Aladdin again.
Yeah.
But I did that. I had to do that for the combo pack from Toys R Us to get the Crystal guy. Because at one point they were saying Crystal Buzz was only going to be available in the twin pack here in the States.
Yeah.
So and then I ended up with a Crystal McQueen extra.
Yeah.
Then I ended up giving it to someone. So there's going to be a lot of gifting of Aladdin.
I mean, I think if they go with the it's what's throwing me off is these 2 Marvel ones, because there's been nothing announced of them. There's not even a hint of a twin pack. I'm thinking there's going to be a twin pack myself, but I'm not sure.
The thing that's getting me is we don't have an official announcement yet, and we're going into 2015 in a week and a half.
Yeah.
Though we still have
regarding
those.
the two unannounced characters from originals
Yeah.
that we have seen information about
Yeah.
that has not been confirmed.
No.
And with Falcon and Yanju, when stuff was leaked, they confirmed it
Straight away.
like the next day. So, what we're seeing not going to happen, or did what we see is fake? Could it be something that was planted there before they, the patch confirmed it? We don't know.
The only other thing is, like me and Abe have said sometimes, is what if the Tron figures are digital only? Maybe they're the iPad PC exclusives.
Then we still don't know the identity of the two characters.
No. I don't think they'll have done that, because I think they're I just think that if they do that, it's going to annoy too many people.
I mean, we got to remember that JV specifically said that his new favorite Disney character, and
I'm not a pronouncer.
we haven't really received that information from him.
No.
So
I love the idea that we've got two characters out next year that they've not officially announced. There's, if it wasn't for that PC update, we still wouldn't know what they are. And I think that is how they should be doing figures. Try and do that a bit more often, of doing the DLC patches and stuff to add them in later. Is going to make life a lot easier, rather than maybe trying to churn everything out in the holiday season. I like the idea that they could delay stuff. I mean, Skylanders are doing the same thing with this whole light and dark figures.
Yeah, that
this
came
year.
out today, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it got pushed. It's been pushed back a month in the UK, but yeah, that's they're even there. It's sort of testing the waters with that. So it's going to be interesting. I like the idea that they can add stuff in later. It's that, but it's hard to know what they're going to do going forward. I think this is still very much a test. I think this is a trial to see how people react to it.
Yeah, but this is the one thing I'm thinking is they have not yet officially confirmed the two other characters. The PC leak says they're Tron.
Yeah.
I can't confirm that. No one can officially confirm that.
Well, I've got they got the app, the PC
Right.
app is on my computer. I can burn it up and I can see those two characters.
No, yeah, okay.
So
confirm
the-
it. Whereas we haven't had anyone specifically come out and release a press statement saying
No,
it's
they're
Tron.
coming. No.
Well, I mean, I guess to even clarify even more, what Travis is really pinpointing is our consoles. The consoles versions have no confirmation whatsoever. I mean, the PC can release different skins of Baymax and whatnot, but that's still not confirmation as far as our consoles go.
Right.
So we still don't know what
No.
those two are.
Officially, we don't
But
know.
they usually give us a press release 3 to 4 months out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they were looking at a January press release, where that would be, and 3 to 4 months later, we're looking at April to May before the characters came out.
I would expect. I'm thinking it's going to be April, May, for these. I think they're going to wait till the holiday season's over, and I think they're.
But then we're getting into new summer and new game announcements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If in fact we're getting a third version, the 3.0.
Well, then let's just keep patching.
Oh.
I'm already expecting to go receive the new announcement and the Cinema Dome for 3.0 come May. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
but then like Skylanders was still releasing figures late into June. I don't think necessarily adding an extra. The Vita version's not coming out till May, so I'm going to get
that's
you.
a mistake in general, but that's just me.
That's a lot of us actually.
Yeah, that I think that is generally coming across as a lot of sort of like, huh? A lot of head scratching over that Vita announcement. Do you like the figure, Travis, the Spider-Man one?
I can get it with a costume change disc. No, I do not like the figure.
But you love your variants, so that's quite funny that.
I love variants, but they could have made something that did not, or I could not already get with a costume change disc. So now what? He's going to become a blacker suit Spider-Man when I put the costume change disc out? I mean, is he going to magically turn... No. Now, if he's Black Suit Spider-Man, but you put the alien symbiote and it becomes inverted Black Suit Spider-Man, or
Was it
Spider-Man
Fantastic Four?
2099.
Yeah, well
But
then
he's not going to,
no,
because that's not what the disc is programmed.
it's
But
to be honest, it's a
No.
way of getting a lot of hardcore collectors to go and buy a PS Vita.
and
If
I
you
will
put-
probably get it, but I'm not liking it.
No.
Like,
If you put the variant on top of the costume change disc, the character's voice is Samuel L. Jackson. So you're good.
I think it's just. I think to be honest, my biggest bug for it is May. It just. I mean, if you've got a Vita, to have to wait till, and then thinking, well, if 3.0 comes out, what are they going to do? They can't rush that out for, the launch at the same time. So if you're on a Vita, well, you just got to wait. I mean, saying that, I'm still waiting for the iPad app, but
To be honest, I still, I know Sony's in the news now, but I honestly think it has to do with the partnership they had with Sony. I mean, specifically to have Spider-Man being at that time a Sony movie rights character. There would be something that would say, "Hey, can you do a variant of Spider-Man with our Vita expansion?" I just think it has to do with maybe that exclusivity.
see, I kind of go in the opposite direction. I'm wondering whether or not it's actually trying to get Infinity 2.0 onto smaller screens, and the iPad version's been delayed a few times, and it's supposed to be holiday season. Well, it's Christmas in 2 days. It's that's been. Was the Vita version delayed because it wasn't? The Vita was struggling with it. Was it? That's my kind of theory of going. Well, it's funny that the mobile versions, the smaller portable versions, have all seemed to have been held up. Is it because they weren't? There could be any number of reasons, but
Right, but like you said, though, I'm thinking Sony's trying to sell their Vita, and that's why they're using a character under their catalog.
Yeah, it's certainly an interesting way. I mean, I think the trouble is, they're trying to boost up these Vita. I personally think the ship has sailed on a lot of the games on the portable. Now people have got, I don't know, iPads and stuff. That was where I think we'll see that base for the Vita. I think will come to the iPad in the future myself.
I think Disney Infinity. I think the iPad version of Disney Infinity is a mistake.
Oh.
I think they should have gone the same route that Skylanders Trap Team came out with, whereas you're actually buying a console type game for your iPad.
The only thing is, with that though, is Skylanders Trap Team is still on the Wii. They haven't upgraded to next gen yet, and I don't know whether or not that is why they could put it on the iPad, because they had the Wii version, and that is what. And with the Infinity drop in the Wii, the whole game got lifted up a whole generation, and the iPad version could not. I've tested it out, and it works fine. Looks good. I'm glad Infinity don't go down that line, because I don't want to spend I downloaded the Trap Team one. Well, I've already got the starter pack. I don't want to have to buy two. I think I've brought the figures.
Okay.
I think by being able to, I've got a pile of Skylander figures, and I can't use them on Trap Team because I've got to buy it again. I don't think it was it's not a fair way of. It's a very. I think Infinity's way of, you've got the iPad, you've got those codes, you can put them in. I mean, I'd love to see a base where you could use the figures as an alternative. But I think Disney went the right direction, and they've said themselves they have more people using the iPad version than all the consoles altogether. That shows you.
I still can't see that myself, but
They've. I think the iPad is where they could that's where they are looking at. It's a shame they've not got it out on time, but I think Skylanders. I love the idea that they did that package. If they come out next year with an iPad app, and the downloads included, you get a figure and you've got a Bluetooth base, fantastic. And I think that's something they should look at. But I don't want to have to go and buy Skylanders Trap Team for my iPad when I've already got the starter pack. It doesn't. I don't want to spend another £60 on it. So that's kind of. I think Skylanders that's what they're advertising on TV. They've been pushing the iPad version more than the console version here. I don't know if it's the same in the US.
No. We don't. You don't see many advertisements for the tablet version.
No, see that we haven't had. I've seen is the tablet version being advertised on TV here. Um, so it's
We actually they don't. I haven't seen a lot of Skylanders advertisements in general here. I've seen more Disney Infinity advertisements than I have Skylanders.
right. So we got like that couple of minutes left. So I'm just going to quickly throw this one at Travis as well. Amiibo. Do you know what do you think of Amiibo? Nintendo's Amiibo.
Um, I don't really get it. I don't think that the abilities and bonuses or sidekicks that you get when you have the characters. I don't think it's necessarily worth it, but I am not the target audience because I don't have a Wii U, and I'm not playing those games. I do like some of the sculpts. I think the Wave 2 sculpts especially are better than the Wave 1 sculpts, but I'm not going to spend $14 for a character, in my opinion. But that again, that's just me. There's a lot of people that like it.
They've been a huge success. I think I read an article that was like $750 million worth of Amiibo sold in a few weeks. They've been a huge hit. They're gonna hit. They're gonna hit Skylanders and Infinity. You know, the kids have only got so much pocket money. There's only so many figures they can buy. Stores can only have so many figures on a shelf at any one time. So they're all cutting into each other's markets. I do like the fact that Amiibo is completely different from Skylanders and Infinity because you're not playing their character. But I admit, it doesn't sound like there's a lot of content. You know, you put it on a new game and it just changes your character's outfit. It's like
and they're gonna run out of. They might start running out of their properties.
They've rushed them out, didn't they? They seem to throw everybody out at once.
Yeah, I mean, they already have like half of their Mario's, squadron, their property out. They have. I can't see how many more different kinds.
They're just going to go variants.
You could put out the cartoon version of the Link.
Well, they've done two versions of Link.
Out.
They've already done two versions of Link.
They have two versions now already?
Yep, there's the classic. There's a cartoon version, and then there's the the more recent version. There's already the two figures of Link. I think it might be Wave 3 or something.
Again, I think they're going to run out of their character, and I think they're going to have to put out sufficient content to warrant people keep on putting money in, because the parents are going to be like, I bought you this Mario character. What are you doing with it? Oh, I stick it on my character. I stick it here for this game. For what? I mean, the parents might not start seeing the
value
in it, and it might catch up to them. So
it's that kind of thing. If I do wonder whether or not it was a bolt on that they kind of we need some figures because it's making loads of money, but we don't really know how we're going to do it.
I think the market. They took a big chunk of the market initially, but I don't think it's going to sustain it.
No.
I think it's going to drop off once once everyone has a Mario. They're not going to need another Mario.
Yeah.
I honestly think they're saturating the market pretty quickly with their own figures. I mean, eventually they're going to run out of ideas, and then they're going to start shooting out a bunch of Pokemon, and then that's really going to kill it for them.
But do you not think? I was wondering whether or not is this literally just a cash grab for a couple of years?
I think so.
Get some money in the bank.
They've been struggling
to buy a Wii free or whatever they want to call it. I mean, they should really avoid the Wii use altogether, but. It just feels like a bit of a cash grab in that there's not a huge amount of thought seems to have gone into. It's just here's a new game coming out. We need to make it pliable to all their games. So they've just becoming a powered change disc.
No, yeah, it's again. I honestly think it was a desperate move. They were losing money. They finally started showing profits with the new Smash Brother game and. They saw an opportunity with Skylanders and Infinity, and I think they decided to take it. Because honestly, if I remember correctly, it was Activision who went to Nintendo about this idea called Skylanders not that long ago, and Nintendo said, no thank you, and look what happened to Skylanders. Yeah. So.
But it's that thing as well of, Skylanders has been out 4 years now. They probably, I think, the only thing is it does, but it's like, you walk into the game stores or things like that, and it's the amount of space having to be given over to these figures is, and it's going to affect Infinity because that's why, they're not going to be able to have 60, 70 figures on display at all time, everywhere. And then next year they could have 100 figures of Infinity. They just store, the big Toys R Us's, etc. Fine, but your little game stores, they just haven't got enough space for them all.
It's funny you say that game stores. I was at GameStop today, and there was more peg space given to the used figures now for Infinity and Skylanders than there were for some of the new Toys to Life games.
That's kind of, I think, more due to the fact that there's more money to be made in video games for the retailers on pre-owned than on brand new. There's been quite a lot of articles over. A lot of the game companies, that's why they wanted to go digital, because GameStop, etc., are making more money. They're giving you such a low trade-in value, but they're trying to charge so much. They make so much more profit on a used figure or a used game than they do on a brand new game or figure. That's why they're probably moving over to it.
Right. Yeah,
So,
there's definitely profit, but there were some really good deals when I was in there today. Granted, I don't need any of the characters, but damn, there were some really good deals.
I picked up a few Skylanders that way by just picking them up for £1 or £2 in the second-hand pile, but and they're already maxed out, so that was a great purchase for Spyro.
Oh, yeah, maxed out, yeah.
Yeah, I picked Spyro down. It was already maxed out. I thought that was a good £1. That was a great option. But anyway, I think that pretty much is going to round up this week's episode. So I'm going to say a big thank you to Abe for joining us as usual, and a big thank you to Travis for staying up late to join us on this one. Shame we had a slight technical issue with Skype. It was all working at the beginning and then just went down the pan as...
You missed all my fancy hat changes.
Well, actually, they can all see you were there with your Pac-Man hat on, and Abe's got his cat with him, so they can all see that lovely hat.
Oh, great.
So yeah, big thank you to that. Obviously we've got Christmas this week, so Merry Christmas to everyone. Hope everyone has a really good Christmas, and gets loads of Infinity items.
Yes.
Yes. So we will be back next week with another episode. It's just gonna be a normal Monday. So that'll be great. So if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button on iTunes or Stitcher if you're listening to the audio version of this, and you can also get us on Twitter and Instagram, all the usual things. And more importantly, we've got our Infinity and Beyond Facebook group. And final plug, VanimationKingdom.com. There we go. So that's all the plugs.
Roger, before we go, I wanted to mention that I'm going to be down at Walt Disney World in the beginning of January for my vacation. And I will be taking my Disney Infinity 2.0 Originals characters down with me, so keep an eye out for a photo shoot, kind of mid to late January on VinylMationKingdom.com. And
how many are you taking? Are you taking all of them down, or just the originals?
Yeah, I'll take all the originals down. Yeah, why not?
I remember because I was when I was in Paris, Disneyland Paris this year. I just remember standing in front of places with. I only took Sorcerer Mickey. I didn't have enough space for all that, and just people staring at me, looking at me, taking pictures of the Sorcerer Mickey in front of the castle, and some kid tried to grab it because I was at it on the bin while I was taking it. So you got to watch.
No, I've stopped traffic. And let's just say that the cast members and the face characters and the characters in costume, they're very, very accommodating to a photographer.
Good.
It is so nice that they're so accommodating. They could be total jerks for the right reasons, because I've literally stopped traffic and held up lines to do photo shoots, and they are totally fine with it, and it's great.
That's because they've mastered the power of social media for their pictures. That's the thing. Right, okay, so that's pretty much gonna leave this week's episode. So a big thank you to everybody. Merry Christmas and ho 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 ho.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah,
Christmas.
Enjoy your Kwanzaa, and Happy New Year.
Kwanzaa?
Kwanzaa?
What's that?
I won't be here for the last New Year's ones. You guys carry that over, and maybe I'll join you sometime in the new year when I feel
Happy
like staying
Scientology.
Scientology.
We're not going to go anywhere near that one. We don't want them either.
Wow, you guys, come on.
I hope
You guys
I
are a
hope
bunch
you guys,
of Grinches.
I hope you guys have a new year filled with infinite possibilities.
Oh God, he's
Oh
on.
man, okay,
May
now
you-
that one was bad.
That's a
That
full on plug. Yeah.
Not everybody have a happy holidays and whatever Roger just said, ho ho ho,
Ho
whatever.
ho ho.
Yeah, there you go. That sounds like the Green Giant.
Ho ho ho. Green Giant.
Anyways, thanks guys, and we will see you next Monday.
Yes. Laters.
Bye.
Adios.
Adios, amigos.